Hello there, it's Carol from the Crafty Emporium. I'm going to make a little jingle out of that, I think. I'll have to think of one for the next video. Okay, so I haven't bought you a design team project for some time now, through one reason or another. I just haven't been able to do it. But I recently finished this one, which is a design team project for Calico Collage, and it's using the kit So Vintage. Now Norella tells me that this is an old design of hers. I thought it was lovely, so I actually requested if I could use this one. I'm not going to go into massive details about the cover because it just takes too long. As you can see, front, spine, back. Now I'll be a little bit more explicit than that. So basically on the front cover I've got a little book, well, big book plate here so that you can put a title in it, some very pretty blue buttons with some gold on. On the spine I've put this flower pulley thingy, what's it, that I normally sell these in my pop-up shop on my Facebook group. I've done a tassely doobry whatsits. Nothing's got a proper name today, can you tell? Oh, my pin's come undone. Hang on, let me do it back up. Thank you. And then I've attached it to a ball pin, and the ball pin is then attached to the ring on the doobry whatsits. And then I've also got a little coat hanger, and I've put some fabric over it, put a button on, and then on the back I've just left it plain, but I'll come to this when we get to the back of the inside cover. I haven't used a hitch post. Let me show you closer. I haven't used the hitch post. I've used a cotton reel, and I've wrapped it in some thread, so this acts as a hitch post. And then my seam binding, which I've dyed with some of my ink dyes, acts as the hitch post. Oh, there we go. So that just hooks over the little cotton reel, and so to the inside cover. So this journal I've done a little bit differently than what I would normally do, and I've actually used paper bags to create the pages. But if I just quickly go through it, you'll see what I've done. So here on the inside cover I've used a strip of buttons to act as a little bit of a tuck spot, and I've done a lace belly band across the centre, and then inside of there are things like a double tag and a great big tag, and I've done a flower brad, and then there's some dyed fabric here, so if you wanted to do a little embroidery on there you could do, and then used one of the pages and just done corner punching, the inverted corner punch. And then I've used the pattern paper, tissue paper, as the backing on the inside cover. I'll put those away in a bit. So this is the first bag, 2 bags, 3 bags, 4 bags. So it's a 4-bag journal, and you'll see I've done quite a lot with it actually. So on the front here I've done a pocket, and then there's some of the ephemera from the kit inside. And then that opens up, concertina. And then on the inside of the bags I've actually punched the top of the bags as well. So on the inside of this first bag I did a little pouch pocket, put some lace on, put a button on, nice button, and so then this opens up so that it's a pouch, so that you can put stuff inside of the pouch, and then that sits inside of the bag. On the back side of the bag, and I've done dangles on the edges as well, which is attached to the lace. So this one is a sewing machine. So on this page here, I've done this as a flip out. So I've got a great big huge button there, some safety pins and some measuring tape ribbon. And then that flips open to reveal a pocket on the back. And then inside of there, there's another pouch. And inside of that pouch, there is some coffee dyed paper in a booklet format. Pop them back in. And then here on the back of the bag, I've attached some of the paper tape that again was in the kit, cut out some cards, done some ball pins with buttons on, little tiny blue buttons, and those slot in there. Then on this paper bag, I've attached an envelope, and I've done this layering here on the front of the envelope. And then on the inside, there's an index card with some of the paper measuring tape, and I've stitched that on, and a library card. And then just as a little bit of added decoration, I added a heart here, and then tucked behind the heart there's another little piece of ephemera from the kit. This is actual real measuring tape, and then I've used the flap of the envelope to act as a tuck and put some more of the ephemera from the kit in there too, and just put a little bit of lace on the end of the flap of the envelope. On the inside of this paper bag, I've got some vintage sewing patterns, and so I copied it. I'm going to be making a kit up shortly with some of the old vintage butterick patterns and that I've got, but I made it up into a paper pouch, just the same as if it was a proper sewing pattern. And so I added that on the inside of that pocket. And then on the back of this, I attached another little charm here, which is a measuring tape. No, it's escaping, look. Did another pocket here, put some crochet trim on, and then inside of the pocket I've got this old little sewing kit, sewing pack, as it states there. And then made a little booklet out of one of the pieces off the kit. Added some tea-dyed broderie anglais lace there. On this bag here, I did the what are they called? The banners, yeah. And then used another index card, put some tape on the edge, and again stitched round it, and then that tucks underneath there. Inside of this bag, I made a booklet with just some scraps of coffee dyed paper, but I actually, instead of stitching the signatures in place into the middle, you see here, looks like staples, but it's actually, I attached it all together with 2 safety pins. So it's the safety pins that are holding the pages together, so that once you've finished writing on those, you can undo the pins, remove the papers, add some more, and put that away later. And then you've got another use of the booklet. Little dangle on the edge here, which is a little heart. On the back of this pocket, I did some, I used a piece of vintage lace that I'd got, but I extra coffee dyed it as well. Added this from the kit, and then these are some vintage bits of sewing ephemera that I've got. And then again from the kit, just added some of the ephemera pieces and tucked them into that little pocket there. On this one here, I actually made a belly band, and I added some embroidery thread on a card and a piece of embroidery fabric, and then tucked underneath the belly band I added another pouch made from an envelope, one of those window envelopes. Tucked some little bits of ephemera inside of the pockets made from the envelope, some real measuring tape again, and then the back window here, oh, my crochet's got a bit squashed, you would see this. Let me just put it back in so you can see inside of there. So from the back you would see that image showing through the window. I made a little booklet with a piece of embroidered sheer fabric on the front, and then put some graph paper on the inside of that. But because the fabric was getting squashed every time I put it in, I decided to put the notelet book inside but leave the fabric on the outside so that it was hanging over the top, and then just tuck that underneath the belly band. Inside of this bag, I think that was the only thing I put in there yet. I did a long strip from the page and just made it into a big long journaling piece that you could then write on. And then on the back of that bag I added some ephemera pieces. So here I did a double pocket, so I added some of the papers to the base of the bag, which forms the base pocket, and then I added another piece of paper underneath of that, which also forms a pocket as well. So if I show you this index card, which I just corner punched, that slots inside of that one. That's another piece of ephemera from the kit that slots inside of that pocket, and then I made a little mini booklet using lace to tie it up, and that goes in there. And then on the back page again I used a strip of buttons to act as a belly band this time, and I photocopied one of my my old Victorian vintage embroidered pieces that I'd got, added some embellishments on there too, and then on the inside there's two little notelet booklets which are tucked underneath these little mini belly bands here so that they don't flap about, and they just slot underneath there, and then that slots underneath there. But to hold it in place, and this is what's showing on the back cover, is I did a double paper clip so that I'd got this on the back of the paper clip and this image and the word sew on the front of the paper clip, so then the cover slots inside between those two pieces of card, and they slot over the top of the booklet to hold that in place, and that's what you can see on the back side of the cover. And so what else did I do? Oh yeah, on the, let me remove that again, on the back cover, instead of using the tissue paper like I did on the front, I'd got an old vintage piece of a magazine called Weldon's Practical Ribbon Embroidery, and I just copied it and did that on the inside cover. So they all slot under there, and that is my little vintage sewing journal. I will put the links in the description box down there to the actual kit, and if you are into sewing of any form, whether it be dressmaking, embroidery or whatever, you'll actually find this little kit quite inspiring. There's quite a few little bits and pieces in there that you could do quite a lot with. But yes, that's my design team project for Calico Collage. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.